Boom! Hey, how you doing? It is Simba the Speaker here, and we are back with another video. Yes, we are back with another video. If you are new to the Simba the Speaker channel, feel free to subscribe, please, and thank you. At the end of the video, if you feel like I gave any type of value, if you got any type of value from the video, if you feel like I put effort to give some type of value from this video, give me a thumbs up, and then hit the bell notification. We drop videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. If you look below in the details of this video, you will see my free community link. Yes, where we do our live webinars, our live Q&As, all that, and all of that is free, is what I wanted to say. So definitely just click the link in the bio as well, and you can definitely enter that community. In that community, you'll definitely also get an ebook. Yes, a free ebook in that community as well. You can book a one-on-one with me in my calendar as well. Let's see what time it is. Making another late night video. It's about 2:21 a.m. So if you're seeing me yawn a little bit, close my eyes a little bit, it is pretty late. I am pretty tired, but I wanted to make this video. I want to get as many videos over to you guys as possible, so you guys have enough resources and enough information to become successful when running a remote cleaning business. And I didn't say in the beginning of the video, and you'll see in my other video, but I am your cleaning guide to remote cleaning business success. Yes, I am a cleaning guide to remote cleaning business success. Now, so today I want to talk about something real quick, right? I want to talk about how to get maximum profit out of your cleaning service, right? How to get maximum profit out of your cleaning service. So, when we talk about profit, we have two things. We have gross profit and net profit. Excuse me. And technically, gross profit, gross profit is like what you would have left after paying some of your core expenses, right? So within a remote cleaning business, that would be, your labor. That would be a big thing, right? How much money do you have left over paying after you've paid your cleaners? But another type of profit that we have is net profit. I want to get comfortable, sorry, y'all. It's net profit, right? And when I say net profit, that is how much you have left over after paying everything. So that could be your cleaners, your marketing, your software costs, right? That could be all of that if you are doing marketing, right? So what is left over after all of that? Now, the question becomes, how do we increase that gap? And today I really want to focus on just gross profit, right? And the reason I want to focus on just gross profit is because technically I don't, obviously when you're starting your remote cleaning, I may not know everything that you have, right? I may not know all your systems that you're running, right? And maybe in the beginning you want to start very light, right? Maybe you don't want to start very tech heavy, is what I would like to say. So with that being said, the question becomes, how do I increase my profit? How do I get the most out of my cleaning services, the most profit out of my cleaning services? So this is just some suggestions that I wanted to make to you guys, for you guys. Some suggestions I wanted to make for you guys. Feel free to use these suggestions when you're thinking about how to increase the amount of profit within these jobs. So the first thing you want to do is calculate the cost of a job. What do I mean by this? Especially as you do more bookings, you'll be able to do this a lot better, right? So that's why in the beginning stages, don't automatically worry about increasing your profit, right? You want to get a hang of the actual business model, right? You want to get a hang of running the actual business. But we'll say this in assumption that you've been running the business for some time, right? Now you're just focusing on increasing the profit. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to calculate the true cost of a job, right? And we're going to take out, and the good thing about the remote cleaning business is because we don't have equipment, because our subcontractors keep their equipment in like warehouses and we don't have to worry about their transportation, overhead expenses are very, very low, right? Overhead expenses are very, very low. So a lot of time when you're calculating the true cost of a job, the only thing you're really focusing on for real is how long or how much you're paying the cleaner, and if it's hourly, how long your cleaner is there, which will still result to that, end goal of how much you're paying the cleaner. So after you've done enough bookings, right, you start to kind of know, like, okay, realistically, this cleaner team will charge me this much if it's a flat price for a 3-2, or I will negotiate this much. Or if we do an hourly, this cleaner team usually would take this many amount of hours to get that done, right? So that's the first thing you're gonna want to do. You're gonna want to calculate the average cost of a job for your cleaners. You know, what does that look like on a 3-2, a 2-2, a 4-2, a 4-3, right? The next thing you're gonna want to do, because now we've established, okay, realistically, and I'm gonna just use basic numbers, right, so that I can kind of do the math easily. So we're gonna say now we've understood that for a 1-1, right, it's gonna take up our cleaners $100. That's what we're gonna end up giving our cleaners, $100. And now, like I said, I just want to use this for basic math. Once we do that, you're gonna want to kind of determine what you want your end cost to be. What do you want that cost to be, right? What do you want that cost to be? And that could be in a couple different ways, right? That could be a couple different ways. You might be wanting to do it in a way where for every booking you need to make a certain percentage. You may do it for every booking you want to make a certain flat fee, right? So you're going to want to make sure that you understand what that number is. You're going to want to make sure that you understand what that number is. So let's do some basic math. Okay, so we know that we want to make 50% of every booking. And we know that it's going to cost $100 for a cleaner to do a 1-1, which means at minimum we need to charge $200. At minimum we need to charge $200. But we're going to go deeper into that. But just some basic math. So now we know that realistically we need to charge $200 because we want 50%. Or let's say that, you know, it's going to cost $100 for a 1-1. And you know that for every cleaning, for every appointment, you want to at least make $150 because that's the flat rate that you're looking to get. Which means you need to know, at that end of the day that for that client I have to charge them $250. For that client I have to charge them $250. So there's a couple things I want to talk about before I kind of go deeper into that. So the first thing I want to talk about is tracking. Before I go deeper into that, tracking. You want to make sure that we are tracking, that we are pricing correctly in terms of making sure that we are getting the numbers that we have set and that we are staying on track aligned with that goal. What do I mean by that? If we know that we have, for example, a 1-1, and we're paying a cleaner, let's say you're paying a cleaner $25, let's say $25 an hour, right? And you know that the cost for that 1-1, you don't want to go over $100, you need to make sure two things. You need to make sure that you rather offer a flat price of $100 and stay within that range, or you need to make sure that your cleaner doesn't spend no more than 4 hours. So that's what I mean by tracking the data, right? Because if you know, like, okay, and that's why I said originally, you need to know what some of these cleaning prices will cost, like, or these cleaning appointments will cost. Don't get me wrong, things will change, right? Sometimes things are dirtier than we expected, right? Or sometimes they want extra add-ons added to the appointment, but we need to have a rough idea of what each appointment should be costing. Because once we have a rough idea, we know that, okay, negotiating-wise or time-wise, our cleaners shouldn't go over this many hours, depending on how many people you send to the appointment, or we need to make sure that we're not giving over this much flat price-wise. Okay, so now we understand, like, okay, we need to make sure that we're watching the data. Well, that's something I just wanted to, I always talk about data, I wanted to put that in there. So now we know what it costs, we know what we want to make. Now there's a couple things we can do, right? Obviously we can raise the price. We can make, like, not raise the price, but obviously we can charge the between the gap. Okay, if I want to make $150 on the booking and it's gonna cost me $100, I'm gonna just charge $250, right? I'm just gonna charge $250. But another thing that you could do, and this is something that is, I don't want anyone to not appreciate or undermine this concept or think this concept is not important, but it's pretty much charging add-ons. That is a great way to get to that buffer. So let's say you wanted to sell the client, right? Let's say you know it's $100 and you know you wanted to make rather, let's say, for example, rather 150 or 50%. On the 50% end, you know you need to charge $200. But then you can add add-on services. See if the client wants different things inside the oven, inside the fridge, baseboards, however you would like to do it, you know, whatever your add-ons are. And you can offer those to the clients to then reach that, I guess, go beyond that threshold. It was the best way to say it, right? So if I know that I'm charging 200, right? And I know that all I want is 200 because I want $100, 50% profit, and I know it's gonna take $100 for the cleaner to do the appointment. Add-ons just make it better for me, right? Add-ons just literally help me make more money and maximize more profit off of that cleaning. Now, another thing you could do, let's say it is let's say it's a matter of wanting a flat price of like an extra $150, right? Let's say you wanted to do some tactical market. What you could do is still market the appointment for $200 and then go for the add-ons. Don't get me wrong, you could do just go $250 and then go for the add-ons as well, right? Because you want the extra $150, you gotta take $100 for them to clean. You could do that as well. Go for the $250, go do the add-ons. That's perfect, right? You could do that as well. But another thing you could do, right? Let's say that you want more of a closing rate, right? What you could do is go from 100 to 200, right? Off of the 200, and then get them to buy the add-on services, which will take it to that 250. So those are just different ways to sit there and maximize profit, right? Before we can maximize profit, we have to know what are we paying our cleaners, right? We have to know roughly what are we paying our cleaners. We also need to know after we see this, okay, this is what we're paying our cleaner. We don't need to know what do we want to make. Is that percentage or a flat price? Do we have a flat price of what we want to make? Want to make maybe an extra $100 or $200 per every booking, or is it a percentage? Personally, I recommend percentages, right? I recommend percentages only because depending on the booking amount, you know, like, okay, this percent is what I want to make, not a flat price, right? So, with that, because for example, if it's going to cost some $200 for a booking, if you only want $100, right, you're not making 50% of that booking. But that's a whole different conversation for a different video. But like I said, you need to know what you want to make from that video. I mean, not from that video. I'm sitting here saying videos. You need to know what you want to make from that appointment. And once you know what you want to make from that appointment, we know how much we're paying the cleaners. We know how much we want to make from the video. Okay, we kind of have that number. Now we have to sit there and also make sure we're tracking the data. Like, okay, we know that cleaners are actually abiding to what we think it is. And understand that you may be wrong. Going back to the data real quick, you may be wrong, right? You may think it takes $100 worth of a cleaner to clean a 1-1, but maybe really it is $150. Maybe it might be $150, $125. This is something I actually want to, and I'm going to make this a bonus section as we add on to, as we end this video. Make sure that in your pricing, you're including buffers for unforeseen costs. And what do I mean by that is sometimes a property may be dirtier than what we expect. If a client hasn't gotten a cleaning in a year and a half, right, the cleaning may take longer. So you want to make sure that you're adding that in. Think about that when you're getting ready to price. So with that being said, going back down that line, we may think it costs this much, where it may cost a little bit more. And the only way you know is by checking the data. But once we understand the pricing, once we understand, okay, this is really how much it costs to get this property clean. We know how much percentage we want to make off this booking. Perfect. We can charge that price. Okay, I know it's going to cost me $100 to do the clean. I want to make 50%. I'm going to charge $200. But you know what? Maybe, I'm going to add-ons. I'm going to add the add-ons. Maybe I want to maximize profit. Remember, this video is about maximizing profit. I think that the add-on services, I haven't gone too deep. I should have went a little deep into that. But remember, we are trying to maximize profit. So once we know exactly how much profit we're getting out of it, because we know exactly what we want, right? Because we're able to calculate it based off our goals and the data that we have, you can do things like add-on services that would then give you more money within that appointment, right? That will give you more money within that appointment. Another way, before I end this video, right? Another way to maximize your profit. This is another bonus tip. Following up with the client so that you can then book them for another service. And granted, the next service that you do for the client has its own profit, but technically you're really maximizing profit because you pay for that client once with whatever marketing budget that you're using, right? When you service that client again, you're not paying for the marketing budget again. You paid once. But if you could put them on the calendar again, you're really maximizing profit out of that out of that client. You're really maximizing profit out of that client. So once again, like I said, know your numbers, make sure the data is correct. Once we know all of that, then we can really maximize profit, right? We can book the client again. I keep saying cleaner. We can book the client again for another appointment. We can do add-on services, right? There's more than enough ways to be able to pull the maximum amount of profit from each appointment. But nonetheless, if you found value within this video, feel free to like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bell notification. Once again, we drop every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Free community link in the details of this video, as well as a Calendly one-on-one link that you can use to book me and we can talk as well. But I'm hoping to see you again on the next video. Have a blessed one.